We'll give it to Obi.
Thank you so much for staying tuned to this channel. Yes, it's a live studio. You can just pick on one or two things and get to realize that we have guests in the studio. It's time for us to dive into the discussion for today. Taking a look at the Kogi Bayelsa election, fine-tuning the process. I believe that you saw some headlines making the rounds in our various dailies. And of course, what transpired yesterday in the off-cycle election was so glaring. 11 million naira cash seized by the EFCC. Vote buying, voters' apathy, ballot box snatching, and the worst of them all, though they're all bad, but for me, the worst of them all is the feeling of election result sheets. And that was according to Kogi State. Some are saying it might not be only Kogi State because forget the fact that some guys were caught in Kogi State. What about Bayelsa? What about Imo? Don't you think that they have such that transpired in this state? Also talking about the result sheet that have been filled already. I mean, what kind of democracy are we really practicing? Is it the ones given to us, or we are trying to fine-tune democracy to suit our own kind of democracy? It's like we still have the same old story. But some are saying, well, it was relatively peaceful. You should give it to the security agent. Let's see if my analysts would differ on this opinion. With me here in the studio, I have a legal practitioner, public affairs commentator. Join me to welcome Barrister Emmanuel Obakwalo. Barrister, welcome to TMI on this edition. I appreciate your coming.
It's a delight being here. Good morning, Nigerians.
Right. It's very close to me. It's a vibrant youth political analyst. Join me to welcome Comrade Destiny Asabo. Welcome to TMI. I appreciate your coming.
Thank you very much.
All right. So I will start off with you, Barrister Emmanuel Obakwalo. The off-cycle election has come. The collation is ongoing right now, but Nigerians have some more stories to tell. Generally speaking, what do you feel about it?
Thank you very much for the privilege to speak on certain national issues. Issues that has to do with the people of Nigeria. And if we go by the provision of Section 14, subsection 2A of the 1999 Constitution, extant Constitution, so to speak, it reads thus, that sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria. And the only way the people of Nigeria can exercise the sovereignty so given to them is at the ballot paper. That is, the people determine who govern them. That is the sovereignty. What it simply means again is that the people donate their power to the person or persons who govern them. That is when it can be said that sovereignty belongs to the people. But where the people cannot donate their power to who govern them, rather a few persons whom INEC will now donate the people's power to who govern the people. That is a mirage.
Use the word INEC because INEC is not part of what you're saying, please. Let's be guarded.
Wilson, allow me to air my opinion this morning.
Of course it's your opinion, but you have to be guarded. Because they are the umpires.
What type of umpire, Wilson? Are you not? You are a journalist. Are you not a witness to what is going on? You took the newspaper headlines this morning. I wasn't the one that took it. At least it was journalists that wrote those stories. It wasn't me or Obakwalo that wrote them. Now, simple elections with billions of naira allotted for those elections, and we are having what we have, and somebody is calling it elections. To the extent that some persons were caught putting on the Nigeria police uniform on election day, and you call that election? 2, we saw INEC officials with already prepared results in favor of a particular political party. You call that elections? 3, we saw the involvement of security agencies ambushing particular candidate of a particular political party. And you call that elections? I don't think we had an election yesterday. What we simply had yesterday is what all Nigerians have envisaged. We are in an era, an epoch, where election does not make any sense again. Because the governors who knew that they have not performed but are desperate to cling onto power have manifested again. And it is sad. They should hide their faces in shame to give Nigerians what they call elections. And unfortunately, the international community will fold their hands and cross their legs because they call this democracy. Look, let me tell you, Wilson. There is an invitation to treat to military takeover in this country.
Nobody's praying for that.
We are not praying for it, but it is. In a situation where you use the military in an election, see, the only time these politicians know that the military is not good is when the military takes over, as we have witnessed in some African countries just now. But in a situation where they use the military to brutalize Nigerians, it is okay with them. When they use the military to rig elections, it is okay with them. But there is an invitation to treat. And this situation we have seen now, in your words, we pray it doesn't get to that. But 2027, yet too far, yet very close. We are going to see a lot of drama.
All right. I'll come back to you, Barrister Emmanuel Obakpolo, but please watch your emotions, despite the fact that what was reported yesterday by so many media houses, print media, you just name it, it's quite disturbing, but we have to look for a way to present our points without getting emotional. Comrade Destiny Asabo, do you share his views, or you have something different to say?
I think I buy into all he has been saying, because it is totally a sad story, you know, because it's more like we are just living in a circle where certain things keep revolving round, you know. There's no difference between what happened yesterday and what has been happening. I expected that by this time the umpires per se would have used this medium to, you know, create a good record for themselves. But it's a total failure from all ends. The security agency, the so-called INEC, you know, they failed. So there's no...
So you did fail because to some persons they did well in some clients?
No, you can't. To some persons, that's... When you say to some persons, that is for their own personal interest. This is not about personal interest, but the interest of the people. I don't know if you understand. It is about the interest of the people, not personal interest. So if you are saying it is okay because it is favorable to you as a person, and it's not favorable to the public or the people out there, then you can't say that's the good thing. So I cannot key into what happened yesterday, and I cannot call it an election.
So what do you call it?
I think I will still find a name to give to that, because you know, most times when I come here I try to manage my words.
Yeah, please do. Please manage your words. All right. 18 billion naira earmarked for the off-cycle election. Do you think the proper account was given on how that money was spent yesterday, Barrister?
Who is accountable to who?
Okay.
In Nigeria is not a country where anybody is accountable to the people. It has never been our culture. And I don't think it can be a norm.
Yeah, but still they are accountable to Nigerians. They are not
accountable to Nigerians.
How they spend the money.
Let me tell you, Wilson. The people are, the politicians, excuse me, have lifted governance far above the people. And that's why the people don't matter any longer. The only time they pretend to have the people or to see the people to be infinitesimal important is when you are in an election period like this. It's a pretense. And we all understand it. And unfortunately, the people key into it. I have said in many fora that the politicians in Nigeria are no less different from the colonial lords. After all, when the colonial masters left Nigeria, 1st October 1960, who occupied the GRAs? It's the people in power now. The people in power now are the ones who occupied the GRAs. And there was an invocation of the spirit of the colonial lords into them immediately. Just like what we had in the eastern part of Nigeria those days during the pre-colonial administration, what they call the warrant chiefs. That's what we have today. They are really dealing with the people warrantly. And that's why you see ordinary elections we cannot conduct. The desperation of the politicians is to ensure that they hold onto power. Power not donated to them by the people. Forcefully, they hijack the power. And you know what? They visit the hardship of that power on the people. Just like when Solomon died, and there was need for Israel to have a king. And Israel was divided into two. You had Jeroboam on the one side and Rehoboam on the other side. And Solomon and the people came to Solomon's son and said, please, your father dealt with us with a whip, lessen our burden. The colonial lords dealt with us with a whip. And now the people of Nigeria, from 1st October 1960, are telling the politicians, lessen our burden. And the king then told the elders, go, in few days come, I will respond to your request. And when they came, he said, indeed, my father dealt with you with a whip, but I will deal with you with the sting of a scorpion. Is that not what the politicians are doing to Nigerians now? Nigerians would prefer to have the colonial laws back. But see us, and they are so heartless. And they tell the people, we don't give a damn about you. With 18 billion naira wasted, no wonder we can afford to buy a yacht for 5-point-something billion. And I think we need more yacht instead of conducting elections.
Barrister, I will come back because that yacht of a thing is causing so many controversies. Let leave that yacht of a thing out of this discussion for now. For what is said, no one is accountable to anyone. That is the reason why we saw what we saw yesterday. Accountability, the 18 billion, further taking it from state to state, sector by sector, you understand, was the money really accounted for from your own analysis?
18 billion naira. To me, that's a huge amount. And I would say it was wasted. Because from the old drama that played yesterday, there's no perfection from what happened yesterday. So what is the excess of the money? In Nigeria is a country where we have find some few persons taking advantage of the old citizens, you know. That 18 billion naira in question that we are talking about, I will tell you, you know, that is why most of the times you see people want to go into politics. And you see most of these our old politicians want to come again because I see it like they are taking it as a business for themselves. They see it as an opportunity. When the election period is around the corner, they see it as an opportunity for them to cash out for themselves. So you see that because there's no transparency, the people are not carried along. So who is to I mean, who used to explain to give explanation or breakdown about this said 18 million naira, who 18 billion naira, sorry, who collected the money, who gave out the money, and all that. So you see that in our governance, there's no transparency.
But take a look at, because hold on now, 18 billion, you talked about, you know, the beavers, the interruption of resorts, and of course, logistics, you know, the sensitive and sensitive materials, talk about ad hoc stuff, talk about security and all that. Come on, is in turning that 18 billion, why would you say it was wasted?
The reason I'm saying it's a total waste is because the set called beavers we're talking about now, the security agency and all that, they didn't perform, they didn't meet up to the expectations of the people. So I don't see any difference between all of these things put in place and the absence of these things in the election. Because I believe the reason for security agency, the reason for the beavers machine and all that was to ensure the process is free and fair. But this result, this desired result that the people want, was not achieved. So what's the essence of the 18 billion naira? So that is why I am right if I say it was a total waste.
Your own opinion? Because some will be like, it was a total waste. It was utilized 100%. That's what people will say, because you get to see the proof of what they did yesterday, the materials, they were there. The staff, they were there. The ad hoc staff, they were there. Sensitive and non-sensitive materials, logistics, you know, the cars, transport, fuel and everything. Come on.
Then if you are saying this, then I will tell you that probably that 18 billion naira was used to mobilize for them to go and do whatever they did yesterday.
Wow. Interesting. Quite interesting. Anyway, I'll come back to you. I will come back to you. Now, let's take a look at the issue of vote buying. 11 million was seized by the EFCC. Some vote buyers and vote sellers were arrested yesterday in these states. Has vote buying come to stay? I mean, for some people, a plate of rice, a bottle of beverage, some 1,000, 2,000 for them to sell their conscience. Come on, what have to say about this?
I don't want to blame the people.
Why wouldn't you blame them?
I don't want to blame the people.
You sell your own future 4 years just for a platter.
Listen. The politicians have deliberately impoverished the people. And what do you expect as response, as reaction from the people? This impoverishment is a deliberate one for situations like this. Today, people can hardly feed. You can imagine a country where the government cannot give people water. And the government, once upon a time, even planned to tax private bore owners. As in this state. You want to tax private bore owners. Your responsibility, you couldn't perform it. Someone is performing your responsibility, then you want to tax the person. And that came as an idea. And they didn't even bury that idea. They ventilated the idea to the public domain. Because they want to test the people and see how foolish the people are. So, in a situation where a man can barely feed, a man can barely see a cup of water to drink, and suddenly 18 billion naira was earmarked for a selection process.
No, election, please.
And part of that 18 billion naira, they buy Coke, a bottle of Coke for the people. They give them a plate of rice. And you say the man should not drink and eat and go home to sing hallelujah that today has been fulfilled. What do you anticipate? So, the whole of the drama you are seeing is terrible. Nigeria can perfectly be described as animal farm. Exactly what transpired in Animal Farm in George Orwell's The Orwellian piece. Today, we have the pigs ruling Nigeria. And you know, when my mind reflects on that piece, pigs, the pigs.
In the Animal Farm.
In the Animal Farm. And today, you can liken the animal farm to Nigeria's situation. So the pigs governs. And what do you anticipate? We see, let me tell you, Nigerians are suffering. And here we have 18 billion naira to conduct this appointment process.
Election, please be guarded. Election.
Wherein somebody, how can an INEC official come to the polling unit with a prepared result sheet?
But that shit, but the result was cancelled. It wasn't used. It wasn't used.
The thought of that alone, the thought of that, all of those persons involved in that should be hanged. The thought of it, not even the practice of it. What does it simply mean? I just told you, section 14, subsection 2A of the Islam Constitution, sovereignty belongs to the people. When you hijack the sovereignty of the people deliberately, do you deserve to live? If a poor man commits a crime, the bell will ring. But when those who are in power commit the crime, they look for defenses to cover it up and bury it. How do we move forward? In the words of Professor P.L.O. Lumumba, he said, Israel is fighting a war, but the people of Nigeria are praying that the God of Israel should fight their battle. Election in Nigeria now is not a battle. Until the people of Nigeria stand up to say, no, we will elect those who will govern us. We will remain like this.
Okay.
We will keep wasting 18 billion naira. Mind you, Edo State election is coming up next year. So maybe we are going to see another 10 billion naira.
All right. All right. Well, that's about, he has spoken at length about vote buying. There was a case also of ballot box snatching. Though one was killed in the process of trying to snatch a ballot box, I mean, I thought we've gone past that era of ballot box snatching. Take it up from there.
Ballot box snatching has become a tradition. It has become a normal thing when during an election, you know, because it has been from back in the days, this ballot box snatching and all of those stuff, it keeps repeating in every elections that comes. So I think it is almost becoming what has come to stay. You understand? Because it is not a new thing to the people. People see it as normal. Because I can't even imagine in the first place why you, as a citizen, will want to involve yourself in such acts. Knowing that this election, if it goes well, it goes a long way to affect you positively. If it does not go well also, it also go a long way to affect you negatively. Like I keep telling people, it is the same station where I, maybe probably from party A, will buy kerosene or fuel or diesel, as the case may be. It is the same station you, from party B, will buy from. There is no difference between party A and party B. The only difference that comes is during the election time. Okay, you are from party A, I'm from party B and all that. But after the election, we all remain as one. So whatever role you play during the election, if it is a positive role, then it also go a long way to affect you and your people positively. If you also go and play a negative role, the same way it will also affect you and your people negatively. So when you say snatching of ballot boxes and all that, people see it as normal because our politicians has made it look like it is a normal thing. These are supposed to be people who are to preach.
But hold on, Destiny, you are a politician.
Yes.
And you said our politician.
I'm not denying
that. Are you involved in this?
He's included.
I'm not denying that.
It's a party. It's a party.
No, I'm not denying that. But
yes,
on the other hand, you cannot tell me that in a country where, for instance, 100 persons live, the 100 persons will have same character. Despite the fact that we know that politicians are not good, but we will not say all, because there are some few persons there that really want this change. But because the population of those who are bad or who are benefiting or who are more concerned about their self-interest, you know, so for the voice of the ones that are good, the minorities that are good, for their voice to be heard, it becomes difficult.
So we have some good few politicians.
Of course.
Barrister, some good few politicians.
I don't think so.
Do we know all are the same?
Yes, I don't think so. You know the reason why?
Why?
Because the politicians are in different levels. Maybe the level that my good friend is just now is like the only voice in the wilderness. So he has not gotten to that kedar where you begin to flex muscles. So the possibility and the manifestation of a good man is still inherent in him. But by the time he gets to that kedar, look, people who decide the fate of Nigerians just now are very few.
And some of these few are politicians also.
They are all politicians.
Good, but they decide and say, look, we have to make it better. Like what you said, you have different categories, okay, of politicians. Some are the only voice in the wilderness. That means not all politicians are bad.
Listen, is it better for you now?
We are asking a question right now.
Listen,
we keep saying all politicians are bad. All these, they are not good. But now we have some few good politicians. Don't we have them in Nigeria?
Listen, in a situation where out of 80%, you have 90 that are bad and 10 that are good, what will be your conclusion?
We still have the few good ones.
Let me tell you something. And that is why I deliberately categorized them. And I did say that my good friend here still have that manifestation of goodness in him because of the category of politician that he is.
So he's among the ones.
The very low one now.
Very low. Because is there really a low politician?
Huh?
Is there really a low politician on your own cadre, the bottom of the top, so to speak?
A councillor is who? Who is a councillor?
But you just
like we saw in Edo State where they just handpicked some persons and say go and become councillor. Does that person has anything to offer?
Anyway, we just cannot say they handpicked them, they were voted for.
Who voted for them?
That's a talk for another day. Please continue to analysis.
Let me tell you the truth. Destiny here, my good friend, knows what I'm talking about. And I want to believe that he will agree with me. Now, when you look at the situation of Nigeria, until we conduct elections, things cannot be improved. Until you have good elections. We are not saying that 100% elections, 100% perfection in an election. Nobody is saying that. Because there is nowhere in the world where there is an 100% perfection in elections. Nowhere in the world. Man himself is not a perfect being. So you do not anticipate perfection from that man. But in a situation where your weaknesses are more than your advantages, what will you be described as? You'll be described as a weak man or a bad man. But in a situation where your advantages are more than your weaknesses, you'll be described as a good man. That's what we are talking about. The election that we want in Nigeria, if INEC, as they describe themselves to be independent, can independently conduct 60% good elections, I don't think Nigerians will be complaining.
All right.
So, but where we have gotten the elections right, the election is the foundation. Where the Bible says, if the foundation being destroyed, what can the righteous do?
Okay. I'll come back to you, Barrister. Another issue, voters' apathy. You get to see some units, trickles of electorates coming out to vote. Some after voting, they'll just leave. Nobody's saying stay to defend your votes. Because of the stories that emanated from some quarters that it might just turn violent because of what they saw pre-election. What do you have to say about voters' apathy? People don't want to come out to vote. They rather go out there to play football or go to the market, or better still just sit at home chilling, relaxing, watching movies on the day of election.
Mr. Wilson, with all of these dramas happening in our electoral system, because it is more like a repeated act. So people don't, it has gotten to the extent where people don't expect something different. Just like my learned friend just said just now.
You're not a legal practitioner.
You are a learning friend. You are a learning friend.
They call themselves learned friend. He said, you're not a legal practitioner.
Just like my friend just said just
Yes,
now,
yes.
you know, about the election issue.
Yes.
You see, people don't, about Edo State governorship election that is around the corner. People can also predict the outcome even before the election. People can as well tell you, this is what will happen. This is what will happen. And you will be surprised that there will be no difference from the prediction they gave. Why? Because this thing keeps repeating itself. People now think like there's no need for me to leave my house to go and cast my vote. Or rather, if I even manage to leave my house to cast the vote, I don't see any reason to stay back to say I want to defend my vote. Because probably the violence that will come after, I may not have that energy or power to withstand it. Which I have to secure my life first. So I have done my own by casting the vote. Then the other thing is for me to secure my life, probably leave the
polling unit.
The polling unit, and go and wait and see how, if what has happened before will happen, or if they'll choose to build a better record. You understand? So people feel like, so many people, you see that even in this election that just passed yesterday, you agree with me that the population of people that came out was very low. Why? Because people, our people, they have lost appetite for voting. Because most of the times when they come out, it is not what they expect. You know the pain. Some persons have to travel some distance because of an election. You know what it means for you to have that anxiousness that I want to go and cast my vote for my own preferred candidate. And at the end of the day, all effort put together becomes a wasted effort. So it is painful. So as a result of that, the people don't want to come out anymore. Because, one, I was going through the news. I saw something like there were more security agency on ground. But the people were scared to come out because of the security agency on ground. Why are they scared? Security agency that ought to have guaranteed your own safety and security in an election, you now see that same security agency and you are scared because they are failed to play their role severally. You understand? So they work for the they work for the few and work against the people.
They may not agree to this. They're there to secure lives and properties to make sure that the election goes smoothly.
Secure which lives?
So why would you say they need to work with a few?
Are you aware one among this same security agency that were deployed to go and ensure it is a free and fair process, one among them was also involved in the act?
All right. Now, do you also know yesterday that it was the same security agents that foiled the attempted kidnap of an INEC official? Do you still know that it was the same security agents in conjunction with the EFCC that botched that 11 million naira vote buying scheme?
Mr. Wixon,
and you said that it didn't work?
Mr. Wixon, all of these things are drama. There are so many things that are playing behind the scene, my brother.
Let's call a spade a spade. Like what you said, we have some few good politicians. So not all security agents on duty are there to carry out nefarious activities. They are there also to maintain decorum.
Let me remind you of
something. That simple?
Let me remind you of something.
Yes.
Do you know this is your job now?
Yes.
There is an ethics that govern this job.
Of course, yes. The rules and regulations.
There are also ethics that govern this same security agency. Likewise, there are ethics that govern the INEC and all others. So are you telling me that whatever happened yesterday, in case of this security agency, because we are talking about security now,
yeah,
are you telling me that it is not against the ethics of the job? totally it is against the ethics of the job. But since yesterday till now, we have not heard that anything has happened in regards what happened yesterday. And it is not the first time. It is not the first time. Neither is it the second time. It is something that keeps happening. You see, these government officials or the people in power use the security agency against the citizens who are supposed to come and cast their vote without fear.
But they are saying it's for the greater good, protection of lives and properties to prevent chaos. After all, the said person came out to vote. Dino Milai, didn't he vote? Let's go straight now. He came out to vote. And now after voting, please, no movement, everybody be in your house. So what is wrong with that?
Everybody be in your house.
After voting, you stay there for good reasons, according to them.
Mr. Wilson,
yes.
Is this supposed to be so?
No, let me come in quickly.
Right.
Let me come in here.
Barrister, calm down. Barrister, calm down.
The hand of the clock. Remember, the same. Wilson asked you a question just now here. Are the people not supposed to protect their votes? Then, if a man votes and the man cannot stay there to ensure that that vote counts, but was now ambushed and tied and placed somewhere under surveillance, and you are saying how will the man protect his vote?
Under surveillance.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Barrister, hold on. I'll come back to you. Let me finish with I'll come to Destiny Asabo, because we're talking about voters' apathy and of course security personalities. Okay.
Good.
All these good things done or carried out by these agents, does they count for something? You saw on the headlines, 11 million cars seized by the EFCC in conjunction with security agents. We saw also ballot box snatching bust by the security agents. We saw also INEC officials being protected by the security agents. So want to pick on just one that said, okay, use this man, don't move. You finish voting, remain in your house. So how can you relate to this?
If
Barrister, hold on. I'll come to you.
Mr. Wilson, if
yes.
at this stage and at this level
yes.
that we have attained, we are still discussing or still fixing these issues, which has happened times without number in the past, and it is also repeating again, then why are you, it seems you are trying to defend these people.
I'm not defending anybody.
No.
I want us to be objective here. You mentioned the good side. You mentioned also the bad side. Looking for your focus on the bad side. Yes, we have some bad eggs. Certain.
When the percentage of the bad rates or outweighs that of the good, then are you going to choose the advantage over the disadvantage, or you choose the disadvantage over the advantage? Okay,
I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. You just hold on, comrade Destiny. Now, over now to you, Barrister Emmanuel Obapolo. You are free to shoot at all 4 cylinders, but please follow the rules and regulations governing the airwaves. Voters' apathy. Talking about percentage of good to evil. All right, what transpired yesterday, he talked about things reoccurring in our election. Security personnel, some not so good ones, helping the political party to suppress the order, carry out some nefarious orders and all that. But we have some good ones also that are out there to do their job. Would it be fair for us to say that all are evil? Or they didn't do their job, when some are really out there risking their necks, risking their lives to make sure that Nigeria is better during elections? Over now to you.
I will not allow you to attempt to ambush me.
I'm not ambushing you. I'm asking a question.
I cannot be ambushed.
I'm asking a question.
Let me tell you.
Yes.
How old is Nigeria? That is the first question. How old is Nigeria? They told us 63. Is that not?
They told us we are.
Good. At 63, we cannot conduct elections without security agents around. At 63. And you don't see anything wrong with it? Do we need security agents around the polling unit before we can vote? That is a sign that something is wrong. Having them there is a sign that something is wrong. And now that that has been established, that something is wrong, what is the way forward? Now, elections is in 2 processes. 1, the primaries, which has to do with the various political parties. How do they conduct their elections? Because the Jamden problem, the catalog of calamities we've had is those the political party bring out rather as their flag bearer. That is where the failure begins.
Is that the root cause of voters' apathy?
Listen, wait, I'm coming. I want to tie them together. I want to tie
fine.
everything together.
Fine.
Now, the political parties bring candidates out. The people don't have choice to even vote at the party level. And that's why I say Nigerians are not interested in joining any political parties. Because at the party level is the money bags. Those who have the money are the one who get the tickets. Then now the election proper. Nigerians are placed with no choice. Because already the candidates have been presented to them by the political parties. I will not see that it's the same old folks that recycle themselves. Now, I know that once upon a time, candidate A in party XYZ was the governor of the state, and he didn't do well. Now, the party has presented that man too to still come for the second time, because the constitution provides that you have an opportunity of 2 tenures. That can discourage me to go and vote. That can cause the voter apathy you are talking about. That is on the one side. The last presidential election on the 25th of February 2023 was a good ground for voter apathy. The people of Nigeria are still saying till tomorrow, even after the Supreme Court verdict, that look, we never voted for XYZ. We never voted for ABC. And you think that cannot cause voter apathy?
Not all of them, some of them.
Listen.
So let's be guarded. Not all of them. Some.
I didn't mention.
We have to be and I know you said ABC.
Good.
I heard you loud and clear.
Good.
You said ABC.
Good.
I know, but the thing is just this.
Good.
It wasn't all of them that are sharing this opinion of yours. You should know that.
Who are Nigerians?
We have some good Nigerians also that voted for these parties you are talking against.
We are not disputing that.
All right.
We are not disputing the fact that some persons voted for the ABC XYZ. We are not disputing that. That is not an issue here. The issue is democracy is a game of majority. True or false?
True.
Where the majority are saying that we didn't vote for ABC, would you not conclude by saying that after all some voted for that ABC? No. That is an aberration. That is on the one side. I've given you the reason for voter apathy now. Now, when you talk of elections proper, there are 3 germane questions Nigerians ask themselves just now. 1, would the election be peaceful? That can also result to voter apathy. 2, would my vote count? 3, would the election be free, fair, and credible? So by the time you answer these 3 germane questions, you will now arrive at voter apathy in Nigeria.
All right. Mathematically speaking, I will ask if you want to go with psychological analysis to get to realize that somewhere along the line, Nigerians really want to come out to vote. But yesterday, what they encountered is that very few Nigerians choose to come out to vote. You gave your reasons. You also gave your reasons. That might be part of the reasons. Well, let us leave it with the people. Security architecture. We've spoken about them in some levels, but at least there was a massive deployment of security agents in these states. Vis-a-vis, 90% of Nigerians attested to the fact that the election was peaceful. So would you give our security agents a pass mark? Come with destiny. Why are you guys laughing? 90%. Why are you guys laughing? This is serious talk.
Mr. Wixon,
yes.
Like I said before,
Yes.
all of the things that played yesterday, I would say it's a drama.
Here you go again with the drama, drama thing.
Including whether billions of security agencies were deployed to states or not. In as much as the purpose of them being deployed there was not being achieved, then I cannot say they have done well, because it is same thing that we have saw before that we are seeing again. I think to an extent they went to the level of using truck to block some certain areas so that some certain things will come and all of those stuff. But that didn't stop anything, or it didn't stop them, or it didn't stop what we needed not to happen there yesterday. It didn't stop it from happening. You understand? So, talking about giving security agency credit, I don't think I have any credit to give to security agency.
You've got to be kidding me. Seriously?
Yes, in regards,
we don't even need them in that election.
regards that election, because I don't think, like my friend said, I think by now we ought to have grown past the level of, if security agency, if they are not on ground, then our election or electoral process will not be counted as an electoral process.
So who is to be blamed in this regard? That must have security personnel on the ground to make sure that everything goes on smoothly. It's only politicians that are causing all this. And after all, INEC said politicians allow us to work. I'm sorry, but they're saying politicians should please allow us to work.
Mr. Wilson, if you remember, we have dealt with these times without knowing.
As we are coming back again to the same politicians.
This issue
yes,
of,
I know we have some lonely voice in the wilderness, but still.
This issue of politicians allow us to work. I remember vividly, there's a saying that says, he that must come to equity
must come with clean hands.
No, immaculately clean hands.
No, clean hands,
Absolutely.
So why are you adding the adjective?
You saying the INEC are complaining about the politicians, like the name, they ought to be independent. That is to say, they are not questionable or answerable to the politicians per se. But since they have changed the system, this is not the normal system. This is not how it ought to be. So because of greed, because of personal interest, because of they want to amass wealth in a hurry, that is why you will see these people, they are failed to play their role. And that is what gave the insight, or the politicians the mindset of going to them before an election, because they have made themselves open for offers to come.
How? Someone saying whether they made themselves open or not, politicians must surely come with the money. Do this for us. But they may even give you money you cannot resist.
That is the greed I am talking about.
Is it about greed or about politicians tempting the officials that want to be pure? To the extent that Bayelsa said they're not going to use any ad hoc staff, they use their own staff and core members to prevent this inducement. They said it in this election that, look, we will not use ad hoc. We're tired of it. Let's use our own staff, INEC staff, and core members.
Look at where you have gone again. INEC staff that were used yesterday, was it for the purpose of the free and fair election? Are you not aware that this same INEC staff that we are talking about were also caught thumb printing? Was that the purpose of them sent to that place? So what are you saying?
If you just joined us, this is TMI. We're taking a look at the conduct of Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi elections, fine-tuning the process. We want to go for a break. We'll return. We will take a look at some other aspect of the election. It's like, questions, giving rise to so many questions. And of course, answers are like, so heavy that the truth needs to be said. But we have to be objective in all of this. Yes, there are some few good ones, and we have lots of bad ones. How can we really fine-tune the process if, according to what they said, the bad ones outweighs the good ones? We'll be right back. Don't go away.